Welcome students, in this class we will learn how to include an image in an HTML page. So as usual, we'll start off with specify the doc type as HTML to the browser, and then we will state the HTML language to be equal to English, and then we will start with the head tag, and then the meta char set to be equal to UTF-8. So this talks about the characters that we will be using to create this page. We got to introduce one more meta tag, and for that I'm going to give you the reason why I'm including this. So that's going to be name is equal to viewport, and then we start by specifying the content is equal to, open the quote, and specify width is equal to device hyphen width, and we place a comma and then say initial scale is equal to 1.0, and then you close the tag. Now, why are we specifying this is because you got to know that today we have many different types of devices that people are using. So our website should be accessible to all those people who are using different devices. And for that, Apple introduced this viewport specification for its browser Safari, meaning no matter what website Safari users are using, or in other words, what devices they might be viewing these websites on, that website would open in such a fashion that viewers wouldn't miss anything. In other words, the content would be properly ordered. Merely by introducing this tag, our page becomes adapted to the devices, no matter whether it's small or big. Whether you're viewing it on a tablet or viewing it on a mobile phone, the website would be completely accessible with all its content. So that is the reason for this viewport. So after specifying it, let's go on to place the body. And then in the body, just for the sake of consistency, I want to introduce a header. So this is going to be saying Math Bookshop. And then let me centralize it. I'm going to have a center tag there, and then place this inside, place the heading inside the center, and then I'm going to have a HR tag. So I save it and I take it to the browser, refresh it. So this is how I get Math Bookshop. So idea is to have a image for this, image of a textbook or image of online web portal, and that would allow the user to access the content. So for that we need to have an image. So I've already created an image and I know the path of it. So for that we need to first start off with the image tag. Image src is equal to specify the path. So the path is images. The name of the image is intro.jpg. Now, if the path is incorrect, the image would not appear at all. So for that, if the image is not appearing, so we place an alt attribute. So under alt, this is a online math website logo. Now, just for sake of illustration, I'm just going to change the name, right? So the image is not there. This image isn't there. So when I place this alt tag and I save it, I go to the browser and I refresh it, you see that alt tag appears. Now, if I don't specify the alt tag, now what happens? I'm going to show you that. If I don't specify this alt tag, so you can see that I have removed the alt tag. I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to go to the browser and I'm going to refresh it. You see that what happens? The image is not there, so an absence of images displayed there. So this is a very bad practice. The very bad practice is because it really brings the reputation down for the website. So whenever the image is just goes off. to prevent all these things, we introduce what is called as the alt tag. So if I were to place the alt there, alt is equal to something like that. If I were to specify it and save it, the image isn't there, but yet I will get that information displayed. So that comes in handy at times. So we will study more in detail about it. But for today's class, I'm going to specify the exact path, but still the alt remains there. So it also gives the coder track of all the images that he or she is going to be using. So I'm saving this. Now I go back to the browser. You see that image? This image is too big. Imagine this math bookshop has got, say, 100 different types of images that has to be fitted. At this rate, naturally you will be able to fit only one or two. That's all. Not more than that. You see the size of it? That is because we have not specified the attributes for this particular image. So for that, we can specify the width. Say I'm going to specify the width of 200 pixel. So pixel means when I write px there, it means picture element. Have that in mind. So we specify the size, the width and the height in terms of pixels. Also, we also do that in percentages. In this case, I'm not specifying the height. Automatically, when I specify the width, the height would be proportionally adjusted. So I go back to the website and I get a beautiful image there. So with this, with proper specification, I would be able to fit at least 20 images in this particular page, and even more than that if we are able to enable scrollings. I want to tell you a note. If you are going to be specifying the height, you should be well aware of the height that you are going to be using. If I were to use, say, 100 px here and save it and then go back, you see what happens to the image. The image becomes ugly. It is better, instead of specifying like this, it is always better to just leave it without specifying the height. So this is how we include image in our page. Probably just to have a better view, we can place a center tag if you want, and take that other center and place it at the end and save it and go back to the browser. So we get a beautiful image there. So this completes this particular lesson, and having mentioned this, you have to know that instead of the source being within the computer, we can also give external sources, meaning we can always give a path of an image which is stored on an external server. So this completes this lesson, students.